There we go. Welcome, everybody. We are live. That's right. If it's Wednesday and it's noon Eastern time, which it is if you're watching live, then of course it's time for the high noon hemp show. We've been gone for a few weeks. We are back talking hemp and more. Beach will be joining me. It looks like he's not there. It's just me talking to myself, but he will return to tell you all about hemp. Of course, you can find us in many places. If you're on Facebook, it's the Temptations Beach Facebook page. If you want a better quality video, I would suggest you check out the YouTube Jedi Hemp YouTube channel. And of course, if you're on X, or if you call it Twitter still, at Temptations on there. If you're in the Cincinnati area, of course, there's the address. I'm just going to think of the word address. That's the address scrolling on the bottom. Spring Grove Avenue in Cincinnati.
Oh, no, and you can't hear me. I'm going to have to go. I'll be right back.
And Beach cannot hear me, so he will return. It's a very weird technical thing. I'm talking to Beach before we go live, and then when I go live, it takes away his ability to hear me for some reason. He has to leave and come back in just so he can hear what I'm saying. I don't get that glitch. I don't understand why that glitch occurs, but
weird.
It just happens. It started happening a couple months ago, and I don't know. It's a very weird thing. In any case, here we are. I'm Stoner Jesus. He is Beach, again, high above the Flower Factory and at Temptations in Northside, and he loves hemp. And he's going to tell you all about how much he loves hemp and why he loves hemp, and tell you all the things maybe you did or didn't know about hemp, but that you need to know right here on the High Noon Hemp Show. Beach, how are things this week in the world of Temptations?
They are good. It's been a while. Welcome, everybody. I had to take a little break. I basically broke my hand, so I couldn't type. I just wasn't feeling it. Took a little time off, but we're back with some good old hemp stuff. And let's not forget, folks, the FDA has not evaluated this show for safety or efficacy. So let's put our peace signs on our peace signs. I got my peace sign on my peace sign. And let's go ahead and do our pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the hemp fields of America and to the soil in which it is planted, one seed under the sun, with responsibility, sustainability, and thrivability for all. All right, well, welcome everybody to the High Noon Hemp Show. Thanks for watching. If you're watching later, not live, well, we thank you for that too. All things hemp as we can do. So we got 170 days left until to remove Section 781 from the bill, or the ban goes into effect. So about almost a half a year into this saving the kids ban that took a year to enact to begin with. There are some new bipartisan bills that hopefully may put this off until 2028. There is also another bill to remove it, supposedly out there, or to add an extension, and so that may be in the next spending bill. If we don't go, if the government doesn't go on strike again, Rand Paul is going to introduce a bill to either add or extend it, or just get rid of it. We're not real clear as to how it's all going to go down, so we'll see about that. Of course, the situation in Ohio has not changed. No one has successfully challenged SB 56 on a state level, so therefore they're going to win. And again, it's sad. All it would have taken was some lawyers that know anti-consumerism laws to sue the state, but instead that didn't happen. So here we are with basically this the THC ban thing. That supposedly you have to go to the dispensaries to get these products, which they're never going to have. That's part of the anti-consumerism fight to begin with, is the fact that they're telling us that we can't sell these products in our stores anymore. Temptations can no longer sell these products. You have to go to the dispensary to get these products. But guess what? The dispensary is not ever going to have these products. It's never going to have hemp-derived THC gummies. It's never going to have, again, it's a ridiculous idea. So basically, this law shut down a 100% legal retail market. I don't understand how that's not anti-consumerism. It's very basics. And again, anti-consumerism laws say in these particular instances that if I can have hemp in any form, you can't tell me that I can't have hemp in any form.
Mm.
You can't say, well, you can't have hemp in tincture form if hemp is legal for jeans. That's just what it is. Doesn't I mean, that is what consumer. This is where in every state that's fought these anti-consumerism laws, they've won. They say, I'm really surprised that the flower ban in Texas is held up, because that's another thing. It's like if I can have hemp in this form, you can't say that I can't have hemp in this form. And again, they are fighting the flower ban in Texas as well. So, we'll see how that goes. But, the fact that in the last 3 months since this all started, no one with money has hired the right lawyers to do the right things it sucks for Ohio. Honestly, it really does suck. If it had been 10 years ago, I'd have been the first one to hire the lawyer. Again, I am poor now, so I don't have the money to do it. But these drink makers that were making a huge amount of money, these breweries that were making, doing quite well with their hemp-based THC drinks and whatnot, they're the ones that should have got together and sued the state. And it's unfortunate that they didn't. Um, Either way, so that's the state of affairs and the state of affairs around here. All right, let's get on to the product spotlight. Speaking of gummies, how about some Gold Spectrum gummies? They got one for the day, which is a CBD CBG combination, and one for night, which is a CBD CBN combination. And so, again, non-euphoric. None of those things are non-euphoric. It is full spectrum, so technically I shouldn't admit that there's probably more THC in there than what they say is acceptable. Um, but here is my argument, and will always be my argument. I am selling federally legal hemp, and if the state of Ohio thinks that they can come in and that their law trumps the federal law, well, they are very confused. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see whatever. How about some Nava Leaf CBD hand sanitizer? Now I want to be clear: if this is full spectrum CBD, this sanitizer probably has too much THC in it to be legal in the state of Ohio right now as well. Yeah, the hand sanitizer. Okay, now are we going to be able to buy this particular hand sanitizer at the dispensaries ever? No. Never in a million years is this product going to be available in dispensaries when the state of Ohio tells me that it could be illegal if that's full spectrum CBD. Just, it's so ridiculous. And we got some Blue Ridge Hemp Company scrubs. Again, full spectrum CBD, probably not legal, never going to be available in the dispensaries in Ohio. So, I've been using these scrubs a lot on sensitive areas because if you don't know, CBD, which I have reported on the show, is highly effective in killing the fungus that causes jock itch and foot issues, athlete's foot, all those things. So, just something I reported on. I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm just saying that there was a study that proved actually that CBD killed the fungus that caused two of these things inexplicably. So works very well. Works very well. And then, of course, we got some Just Hemp soap. Once again, if this is Just Hemp, so this is hemp oil. There's no THC in the hemp seed. There's no THC in the hemp oil. Just so you know, even if you took marijuana seeds, no THC. If you took the oil from those seeds, no THC. Does not matter what subspecies of cannabis the seeds come from, there is no THC in them. No THC in them. All right? That's scientific fact. So, technically, hemp or soap made from marijuana seeds would be illegal, technically, even though there is no THC, which is ridiculous and shows the lack of education on all of the things that cannabis and its subspecies are capable of doing when one shouldn't, whatever. Legal, illegal, whatever. Excuse me. And the one from my door is my homemade hemp cast. So we had, back in the day, Planet Everywhere made a lot of, and originally these were watch bands. So if you had a watch that had a pin, excuse me, if you had a watch,
Hi.
My goodness, what's going on here? All right. So we made these watch bands, and they're actually like, they either watch band and then, we like slash bracelet and all these different colors. But what I did was my pinky went the wrong direction.
Uh-huh.
And I decided to broke my hand. I didn't really break anything, but I sure messed it up, and it sure was painful.
Uh-huh.
And so I thought, it probably could have been casted, but instead I just came up with this idea, and this worked. And so I basically just kind of connected all these together, the Velcro, and just kind of just started at my pinky and my finger, wrapped it around, put it all the way around my hand. And, what was kind of amazing, and this is something that I realized, is that part around my wrist that helped my wrist not move. It was like, again, it was tight on there. Was probably the most beneficial thing that this cast did, because it minimized how much I could actually move my hand, therefore my pinky, and it was quite amazing. So once again, I can make anything and do anything out of anything if I have what I need to do it. And this worked unbelievably well at limiting the range that my pinky had and that, my whole hand had. But I still had use of my thumb and my fingers, either way. So this worked really, really well. I wish I would have thought of this when I hurt my salute. I wish I would have thought of this maybe when I actually hurt my ankle, because I feel like I could have really benefited by doing this to my ankle when I hurt my ankle back in the day. But anyway, so there you have it. 4 from the store, 1 from my door here on the High Noon Hemp Show.
Indeed. Which, of course, brings us to the greatest segment in internet history. I is still yet to have been proven wrong on that. It's been many years I've been saying that. No one has stepped up to even attempt to prove me wrong. And that's fine because they can't. There's no way. There's nothing better than this. There's nothing better than finding out what Beach is wearing and having Beach tell you all about it. And of course, as you know, recently we've added a little bit more. Oh, I'm not ready for that video yet. Calm down. Add a little more to the beachwear segment where I ask Beach all about what he is wearing. He tells you all about what he is wearing, as he will if you see him out and about in public. Just ask him, ask him the question, and he'll tell you what he is wearing. But we, of course, have been talking about the Guinness World Records. If you didn't know, the Guinness World Records has a specific rule against any kind of cannabis or hemp related records. They will literally do records about anything else in the world. I'm sure they have records for most prolific serial killers, but hemp and cannabis, no, they will not touch it. Which of course leaves it up to other people and then leaves it up to us, of course, to chronicle all the hemp records that Beach has set and currently holds. And I like to go to look at the Guinness Book of World Records. Well, the Guinness World Records now, it's no longer the Book of World Records, but just the Guinness World Records, and see what they're doing on their Twitter, see what they're celebrating. And most of the time, yes, it's stupid. I mean, make fun of it. And most of the time, well, all of the time, it's pretty useless. I mean, there are some things that are for charity and stuff like that, which are very worthwhile. But most of the time, it's just some dummy doing something dumb, like, getting on his underpants or, something like that. It's just something ridiculously useless. And this is pretty useless, but I will admit, and I have admitted before, when something is very cool, albeit useless, especially if you are a fan of Stranger Things, this is the largest aerial display of a fictional character formed by multi-rotor drones, 4,979 by Sky Elements, displaying the image of the character Stranger Things Vecna in Las Vegas, Nevada. Again, cool. It's useless.
And if it was a big hemp leaf, it was the largest hemp leaf ever displayed in the sky by drones. They'd be like, nope.
Get that out of here.
Get that shit out of here.
I will admit that's.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty dope, but
especially love Stranger Things. But as far as it's useless. Then I guess it employs. I guess you got to employ a certain amount of people to do that, and that's fine. But I mean, it hasn't advanced anything in the world at all. It's just something cool to look at, which is fine also in and of itself. But their specific ban on hemp and cannabis that makes this all so ridiculous. They've gone out of their way to refuse to check out hemp and cannabis, but literally anything else, they don't care what it is. They will, if they can squeeze a record out of it, well, they will. Like that, almost 5,000.
Yeah.
That, of course, again, leaves it up to us because no one else is going to do it. We have to do it. We have to chronicle Beach's records, the records he has set, and the records he currently holds. And of course, many of those involve hemp clothing, the massive amounts of hemp clothing that Beach owns. So much so that he can dress head to toe every day in hemp and tell you all about it on the Wednesdays of the week. When I ask him one very simple question, what are you wearing, Beach?
It's true. If you're curious, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you will know. Up on top there, that is an E-Conscious hat. My T-shirt printed with the peace leaf at Planet Everywhere is an Ono T-shirt. My shorts, and I don't know, these may be the first time these shorts have been on the High Noon Hemp Show. I forget if I just wore them recently and maybe said the same thing. It's possible. Those are Hempland. That's some Tibetan hemp there. And then underneath there is a pair of Hemptopia briefs. Oh, holding those shorts up, as well as a Hempy's belt. Got a pair of Satori no-show socks and a good old pair of Adidas shell toes, bringing it all together. So there you have it. If you're curious, hey, Beach, what are you wearing? Now you know. Here on the High Noon Hemp Show.
Indeed.
It's true. Well, I didn't send a commercial over because initially I was trying to send over a video of a fashion show that I got to attend recently. Now, this story is just one of those stories that is full circle life for me. All right, so um, every year I do, or every semester I do my hemp speech. Um, you could smoke them, but they would not be good for your lungs.
Right.
That lighter and rolling paper would be huge.
So
Um,
what's going on? Just
but this so every semester the marijuana class, Professor Bonnie Rabin, who also hosts the medical marijuana meetups that I attend, I do my hemp presentation. So this last spring, at some point before I did my presentation, or maybe even after, Bonnie told me that she had a student in her fall class that had decided to use hemp in her fashion, um, for DAP. For she was in DAP, and if you DAP here at the University of Cincinnati is one of the greatest artistically dedicated programs in all of college education. It's something that the University of Cincinnati is known for. Okay, it's DAP program, and these are all the arts. Um, I don't know how all that really works with the DAP program, but um, so, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. And she was giving me, she was saying after she, learned so much about hemp and the material in my presentation, um, that she decided to do this.
Mhm.
So 2 days before the fashion show, which happened like 3 weeks ago, it happened right after I think the last show.
Mm.
Um, college buddy of mine. Okay, this is just insane. Bill Walters and I spent one of the greatest weekends of my entire life in New York City on Heidelberg College's dime because we were the station managers at the radio station. So I was the station manager at the radio station. I directed the nightly news. Bill was my music director, and then we were co-station managers. But the school paid for us to go to what was called the New Music Festival, and this was all based on um, the new music program that was basically college music, and they tracked the songs that were being played and all this. This led to us getting to go to the New Music Conference, which is where I got to literally walk around with Guar in faux total costume. If you
Nice.
don't know anything about Guar,
Mhm.
their costumes are freaking insane. Always have been. I don't know how they even play their music to do it. Probably not going to like their music because it's out there. But Guar, again, this was 30 years ago. No, this was 30 years ago. It was actually 30 plus years ago. Um, this was also, for the record, the place where I saw Jesse Jackson give a speech in front of college music kids, in which, at the end of the speech, he had this college group of music kids chanting, "Down with dope, up with hope." That was his thing at the time. And I'm telling you, I did not participate because I had literally just smoked a freaking joint before we freaking came into this thing. But it was amazing to me, and it was a testament to the power of a great speaker. Okay, this is the power of a great speaker, in my opinion, to have a room full of college kids that were from their radio stations, chanting "Down with dope, up with hope." Anyway, um, Bill and I got to go to so many shows, so many groups, like late nights. I mean, it was insane. I'm not even mentioning probably the greatest part of it, which is where I literally got picked up by an actress at a bar. Anyway, so Bill and I, that's Bill Walters. Go back. You know, we haven't stayed in a whole lot of contact. I don't stay in a whole lot of contact, but we're friends on Facebook, whatever. But he hits me up on Facebook 2 days before the fashion show. She's like, "Hey, my daughter is doing this thing," and he sends me the links, and I'm reading about it. And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so awesome! This is unbelievable." So, you know, and eventually it led to him saying, "Well, I got an extra ticket if you want to go." And I'm like, "Well, hell yeah, I want to go." Actual hemp fashion show. This is something, well, not something I have not attended before because I have been to hemp fashion shows. I've never been to a fashion show that had hemp with it. I've been to hemp fashion shows. I've actually put on hemp fashion shows, but it was all hemp.
Hmm.
This was a fashion show where Lily's fashion was hemp, and it's here's a picture. It was called All Inclusive. Okay, um, and apologize for that not being bigger. This is the talent that produced these clothes, and I was trying to send a video over of the actual runway show, and for some reason it wouldn't do it. So I'm going to try to post it to the Hemptations Beach uh, Facebook page after the show. It's a little something I put together with that and whatever. But here is the fashion. It's very traditional in a sense, um, with you know the outfits that she's doing. A little, you know, obviously a modern twist on the kind of traditional jean look, denim. I should say denim look, not jean, but denim. Um, and, uh, and so it's kind of it's super fun and actually I mean I will have to admit that some of the stuff that she designed, and I've said this before, that most stuff in a fashion show is not clothes that the average person is going to wear. We've said
Right.
that. But it has to be different to be successful in the fashion industry when it comes to these things. And it's the main part of it that I support when it comes to the fashion shows is how much hemp is being incorporated all over the planet because of its eco-friendliness alone. It is the most eco-friendly fiber that you can make any material out of. You can make hemp silk, you can make hemp burlap, you can make hemp denim, you can make um, hemp linen, you can make hemp anything in the material for the most part. And so, and that was, I think, what really kind of drove her with this was the sustainability of it all. Um, but the design is, I mean, super neat. And again, um, something that I do think could, in fact, easily transfer into the everyday person's, maybe not as much in Cincinnati, but in the big cities.
Right.
But, I mean, I think that there's very little that's offensive to me looking at it. And when I say offensive, I don't mean like I get pissed off at floofy sequins and stuff. I'm just saying that I have seen some hemp fashion that I was like, come on. I mean, I appreciate the fact that and again, the appreciation is incorporating the hemp into the fashion industry and and emphasizing that it's there because of its eco-friendliness, because almost everywhere that I see it, that's why we see it. And of course it's strength. It's the strongest natural fiber on the planet. It just is so dumbfounding that hemp clothing makes up literally 2%, maybe 1%. I should say 1%. 1% of all the clothing on the planet. It's almost disgusting. But this was this was one of the most impressive full circle things that's ever happened to me with hemp. I mean, at that time, that's when I was just in college. This is when I was just starting to do research on hemp and just starting to learn about it. And then to realize that I influenced a college friend's daughter in my presentation to use hemp in her fashion for her fashion show, her senior fashion show for DAP to graduate. Again, I don't know if I'm blushing or not, but it's one of those things. It's so amazing to me the things that happen in my life. And again, I do not believe that anything happens for a reason. I believe that every single thing that happens to us is coincidental. All right. Now we choose those consequences or those coincidences, I should say, not consequences. We might choose those through those consequences or coincidences. Um, but and this is how I define the fact that the coincidences that happen in my life might be more amazing. And there is actually a theory called Ramsey's theory that say that coincidences happen at such a high rate of pattern to us that we believe that these things happen for a reason. Um, but the fact of the matter is to me, this just shows how deep my love of hemp goes and how far I can, the this is the whole reason why I talk about it. This is the whole reason I have the show right now is hoping that one person decides to do this. Knowing that one person did it, gives me some hope that my voice is, actually listened to sometimes. But anyway, it's just really awesome, and the fact that this is the daughter of a person that once again, I mean, uh, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. So life,
Right.
it's just crazy. My hemp life, my hemp life. Someday I might write a book, and that's what I'm going to call it, My Hemp Life.
Right. On hemp paper.
Because oh yes, of course, I'd have
Indeed.
it no other way. I would have it no other way. I mean, again, I say 35 years. I feel like, my biography, which would be calling, I would just, that's what I would call my biography, I suppose, my hemp life. Yeah, I got to talk a little bit about my childhood, what kind of got me to my hemp life. But I have lived my hemp life for 2/3 of my existence. 2/3 of my existence has been my hemp life. All right. And hemp life, how about this? So, a non toxic plastic made of CBD. Made of CBD. Okay. Now, you watch the show, you know it all how much I love hemp composite. All right. Which is hemp composite could replace right now 60 to 70% of the plastic that's out there. This particular new invention, all right, takes the CBD and replaces the synthetic, the oil or whatever compound. Okay, it can stretch up to 1,600%.
Ooh.
60 hemp plastic that can stretch 1,600% and can tolerate high heat. Melting or boiling water, can tolerate boiling water. All right. And then breaks down naturally, non toxic. This is non toxic. Okay. Just for the record, non-toxic plastic, and it's basically a film. When it's plastic film. Um, but the craziest thing, again, it's not they're not using hemp oil, they're using CBD to replace this main ingredient in PET. All right, and PET is the plastic that's the plastic that the disposable water bottles are made out of. That's the plastic that most of the disposable goods are made out of. And so now we can stop using fossil fuels or oil to make this particular type of plastic. It's getting made. It's already being produced. This is not a projection. They are making this. Now, the craziest thing about this is this makes high percentage CBD flower, the same flower that the federal ban will make illegal for the most part. Okay, for the most part, no, the farmers are going to grow a lot less of this as it stands, which means China is probably going to end up growing a bunch of CBD flower to produce this plastic. And, we're going to be left behind because farmers don't want to grow CBD flower for CBD. for the tinctures and the gummies and stuff anymore because of this federal ban. And we can use it in non-toxic plastic. It's just insane, honestly. It's just so crazy as to the sub list of products that CBD is now being responsible for. And again, some of these are the same that hemp oil, plastic again. I've been talking about for a long, 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 long time. A long time. But the fact that we can specifically use CBD to replace the fossil fuels, or the fossil fuel or the oil, um, in making synthetic plastic, and then we have I don't know if it's all natural, it's not, but a more natural, a plastic that breaks down naturally. It might take a long time still. I'm not saying, I don't know what that time frame is. All right. Decomposing is one thing. Compostable is another thing. And I've seen a picture of a supposed hemp water bottle, and I forget, they show how long it took for it to break down, and it wasn't even years, I don't believe. And so, and this is what we could have been making plastic water bottles out of corn cellulose a long time ago. Obviously, we could have been making them out of hemp cellulose a long time ago. If hemp would have never been made illegal, we probably would have been. In fact, there's a very good chance that plastic from oil would not be as popular as it is, and that we would be making plastic from hemp oil. Talk about coincidence. 1937, the year the Marijuana Tax Act happened and made hemp illegal, was also the year that DuPont filed for the first 2 synthetic fiber patents, starting us down this whole path of polyester that's destroying the planet and our bodies slowly and nanally. 100%.
Yeah.
How about a cookie recipe?
Hey.
Let's turn the tails on this sad story. Here's a cookie recipe. We'll leave this up here for a minute, so you can get a screenshot of it if you want to, or whatnot. Um, I think I left off step one, just so you know, because it basically just said put all the ingredients in a bowl, more or less, or put this and that. I don't know. You can start with step two. You're not missing anything with step one. I promise. Um, I think if you know how to make cookies, you're probably good either way. Although I think there was something about these standing before. I don't know. Anyway, so I know that once again, hemp nut had cookies back in the day. This is definitely probably a recipe that I may even try. We'll have to see what else is in it. I'm almost 2 months sweets snack free, um, as well as I'm almost 2 months vegetarian. Um, and so I'm trying less and less to actually, have a sweet snack at night. And I didn't really. It wasn't that. That wasn't. Neither one of these things was very difficult because, I always joked that I was a non-practicing vegetarian before I actually became a vegetarian because I didn't really eat a whole lot of meat. Um, and and honestly, I try to avoid sweets because whenever I had sweets at night or whatever, it's not good. And I still put a little sugar in my coffee. Don't get me wrong. So I'm getting my sugar, um, but I'm never going to have a diabetic issue. For the record, hemp oil and CBD are supposed to both be diabetic friendly. I mean, hemp oil is definitely friendly. I mean, anything probably made with hemp oil is probably going to be better for you. Um, but I have reported on studies that have shown that CBD can help with some forms of diabetes. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just telling you that I reported that before. So, all right, so there's your cookie recipe. Um, if you're out in the Great Plains area, check out this. This is reviewable, review build. Great Plains building hemp blocks. And I've shown some hemp blocks like these before. Basically, these are hemp Legos. Um, and trust me, I do love my hemp Legos. Like, if I can only order a giant bucket of these, in all the Lego shapes, man, would I have some fun building something. Anyway, this is great. This is yet progression of the hempcrete industry that's making it easier and easier for people to use hempcrete. Now, once again, um, maybe because as you can see, that does have the rebar holes in it. That possibly once you stack these and put the rebar in, the rebar becomes the load bearing. I don't know. Once again, you cannot build in the United States currently using load bearing hempcrete. Now, I don't know if these hemp blocks are load bearing acceptable. Might have to look into that. I mean, I know they're not approved as load bearing acceptable in the United States because they have not been approved as load bearing acceptable in the United States. All right. Now, I'm not saying that they aren't load bearing acceptable. I just know that hempcrete, in no form so far, has been allowed to be used as load bearing. And when they 3D printed a house where the walls would have been load bearing, it failed. Okay. And so, we have a way to go. I reported over 2 years ago on the show, probably 3 years at this point, and I think it was Oregon State University. I can't remember completely, but they had supposedly come up with a load-bearing hempcrete formula that has yet to make it to a market. So I don't know, after further review, if it was decided that that was not true, and they kind of went back to square one. I don't know. But I do know that using hemp blocks, and again, this is something being used in France a lot, hemp blocks to build buildings. And so, it's definitely a market that we need more and more of here in the United States. Either way. So, a federal judge has dismissed a challenge by an anti-marijuana group against the Medicare hemp coverage program. So, apparently, an anti-marijuana group didn't want you to get your Medicare CBD for whatever reason. And one of the reasons is because this Medicare provision allows you to write off hemp-derived THC. So that's where this is where the anti-marijuana group was against this, okay? Because this actually made THC available to Medicare people, and you could. Originally I saw $500 a year. You could write off $500 a year to Medicare costs of hemp-derived anything, whatever it is, whatever it was. And so that supposedly went into action, but I don't know that it has or not. And this was a Trump thing. This old T-Rump came out beginning of the year and said CBD needs to be covered by CBD. Our old people need CBD, and it needs to be covered by Medicare. That I made Trump sound really tough there. I'm sorry that I didn't try a better T-Rump accent. I'm sure that if I really thought about it, it's the greatest CBD ever. Comes to hemp, CBD is no. Hey, I'm not going to do it. I have to practice. Anyway, but this is, and so if you're on Medicare, check it out, see if it is available. It is. I mean, apparently the judge said this anti-marijuana group can't stop it, so it's got to be happening, right? Why would the judge say it can't be stopped if it's not happening? So keep looking into that, and know it was here. I've been talking about it for months, just so you know. I'm trying to tell you. So India, my beloved India. I've traveled there and I loved it, and I talk about India on occasion, and it's usually this Uttarakhand. I think there's a picture of a lady I sent over. It's, and I know I'm not pronouncing this right, but it's the Uttarakhand region of India, and they love their hemp. They never gave up their hemp. I'm feeling it now. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this in the voice. Somehow it's being channeled, because over this part of India, they love their hemp. They never gave it up. Not for the rope, not for the food. No, but it's all about chutney and rope, actually, because there's and I've talked about this chutney because the chutney that they make with the hemp is usually associated with a festival or a time of year celebrating a festival as well. But it's something that they eat year round. And hemp food, once again, was on the sacred grains list of India 5,000 years ago. In this part of India, they never gave any of it up. Still making rope. And again, you use the seed for the food. You use the fiber or the fiber for the material. You know, who knows what they do with the stalk, but they probably leave it in the field like we used to traditionally do, or who knows. I would be interested to travel to find out actually what they do with that stalk byproduct once they've uh, collected the grain and broken it up to get the fiber out of it. But India is making a lot of positive moves in all things hemp. And again, India is very much an anti-marijuana country. And in fact, there is no flower. You cannot find a flower. If you want to consume THC in India, as I did, you have to buy it. You have to use hash. It's the only form that's readily available. Um, there's no real flower. When I was in India and we traveled to the most remote places, I mean, I can really say that I have been to the remote parts of the world. Um, when we got to the village that we were going to, we were donating food, grain, and saris, the ladies' wear. In front of the uh, the mother of the chief, basically, in the front of the mother of the chief's house, was one beautiful hemp plant. And it looked like, and I'm not kidding you, somewhere I have a picture, it looked like a bush outside of a house, like it was just like landscaped. Because it almost looked like they had trimmed it up to make it look just like a bush, just growing there. And I asked them about it, and they traditionally used it to make bong out of, which is a drink, an intoxicating drink. So again, that was amazing. Once again, the coincidences that happened, the fact that we traveled all the way to the middle of nowhere in a country that, you know, where they grew hemp, they were specifically growing it for its say hemp, or whatever. Um, but even then, some of it intoxicated. There's just one hemp plant growing outside of the house. It's just, amazing, amazing. It was so amazing. Um, so Health Canada, they are smart, those Canadians, and they grow the largest amount of hemp seed for food on the planet. Health Canada has launched a 45-day public consultation on slashing red tape for industrial hemp. All right. Again, they're trying to do, and I didn't even realize it was such an issue because they grow hundreds of thousands of hectares of hemp for grain in Canada, and they have been doing this for a long time. Um, and so they're the same place that I would say America is. Like our government could learn a thing, and we could easily do public consultation on slashing red tape for grain and fiber. Once again, I mean, I have the solutions. We don't. I mean, I can help Canada out all they want to with the solutions, and the solutions are make available only low THC cultivars. Okay, and there are almost 200, probably more now, that the United States is growing over 200 uh, low THC cultivars. Some for grain, some for fiber. Either way, and you put all those on a list, and the local feed stores have the list, and they can order any of these seeds for their farmers to come pick up and put in the ground. And it just shouldn't be. That should be it. The farmers, then they grow the hemp. And if some rumor gets out there that Joe Farmer is growing marijuana in his hemp, then investigate that. But if nothing else, just make the low THC cultivars worldwide. There's like I said, almost 200 of them recognized worldwide. Hemp, nothing to do with marijuana, nothing to do. And again, some of these may be 1% THC. It shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue to how much THC is in any of these recognized hemp cultivars. Germany, France, Russia, Ukraine, China, wherever. Of course, China's never going to give them up. In fact, the matter is, Russia's probably not even ever going to give them up. Russia had to go steal some hemp from Ukraine. Reported about that on my show. Yeah, not a joke. Russia got caught illegally smuggling hemp out of Ukraine. It's just, and if you think that that's a joke, let me tell you about some history of Russia and hemp. Napoleon invaded Russia unsuccessfully because Russia took back an agreement to supply France with hemp. That's the history of that war, those battles. Anyway, my point is this. You have a recognized list of accepted, the government figures it out. It's not that difficult. If someone in the Department of Agriculture can't get their head out of their ass long enough to figure out what's acceptable hemp cultivars across this world, when I could go Google it right now, and again, these are not marijuana. Russia wouldn't put up, none of these countries would have put up with these being what they call technically marijuana. None of them. These are traditionally grown hemp that have been grown for thousands of years in these countries. Thousands of years. We brought hemp to America. It's only been grown in America for 500. Yes, we were growing hemp here probably before we were actually a country. Before the Europeans got here. Well, I know we were growing before we were a country. Technically, Christopher Columbus brought hemp here because that's what his sails were made out of. Now, whatever. But it did not exist. It was not growing indigenously in the Americas until the Europeans got here. That's a fact. But everywhere else in the world, it's been growing for 10,000 years. We have documented history of that. And those are all the cultivars that goes on a list that every grain shop, once again, has it in their computer. Farmer comes in and says, hey, can you get this cannabis cultivar for me? And they type it in there. Well, we sure can. That's totally legal. The farmer orders however many thousands of pounds or whatever of this seed, comes back and gets the seed, he puts it in the ground and grows his hemp. At the end of the year, he cuts his hemp down, he sells it to whoever, the food industry, the fiber, the material industry, the hempcrete industry. Again, he's gonna get all three out of it if he wants to. If he grows for seed, he can surely get money out of that fiber and herd. If he grows for fiber, seed's not going to be as much, but could possibly, depending on how much they grow, still get something out of it. But you still have that stalk, that shiv, what they call herd. And again, herd is it's not an English, it's not a word, but it is the word used to describe the part of the hemp plant that goes into the hempcrete that we can use for animal bedding, all those things. It's kind of crazy that it's not in the dictionary yet, and that it's not a word, and it's been used prevalently in talking about hemp now for a while, but not long enough. Technically, most people would call it shiv. So, anyway, that's the solution to making it super easy for any farmer to grow it, and to make it so that farmers do want to grow it. We're not there in the United States. Obviously, Canada's not there. Canada must be having a hard time getting new farmers to grow hemp to keep up with the demand, because there's a huge worldwide demand for hemp food, hemp hearts, as they call them, or whatever, um, to this day. And we're not trying to fill the void here in the United States because we're stupid. Pure and simple. No farmer that's, say, growing soy, that he should be growing hemp to replace the soy for more reasons than one, for food product, is going to do that. The farmer doesn't have to get a license to grow his soy now. He might have to sign his life away to the one producer of non-organic soy, but he doesn't have to get a license from the state. He doesn't have to have his soy tested at the end of the year to make sure the soy doesn't have too much blah in it. But hemp farmers still do. And nothing is good. We're never going to get where we need to get with any of these markets in the United States if we do not change the rules. And we're going the wrong way with this ban. This ban is actually it's going to send more farmers the other direction. Or it's going to keep farmers from going in that direction. Pure and simple. Quick, easy, healthy snack. Greek yogurt, berries, and hemp seed. I've been doing this one. I've been doing 3 teaspoons of hemp in the morning, and then usually sprinkling hemp hearts on my food, no matter what it is. Like if I make a black bean burger, I sprinkle some hemp on it. I make a salad, it's definitely getting hemp on it. I am eating yogurt, getting back to eating yogurt, and I sprinkle just like that. I get Greek yogurt with berries, and then I put a little hemp seed on it, and so it's super easy, and super beneficial to your health. Super beneficial. Article 5 best foods to boost collagen production. Now, I don't know why we need to do that. I don't know the benefit of collagen production in life, but apparently that's something you want to do. Hemp seed is among the best plant-based sources of glycine and proline, which are the primary amino acids in collagen. So let's just go ahead and add those 2 things to the greatness of all the other things that hemp seed is beneficial to us when we eat it. Yes, it's true. Cape Cod Hemp House. This house is pretty beautiful, I will have to say. A lot of hemp stuff being built, it seems like, right now, which is kind of cool. Either way. So once again, this is a house in Cape Cod. You know how those people are. They're not going to build a house out of marijuana. Oh, shoot. Well, I don't know if I feel like I might have mentioned this. My brain's telling me that I might have mentioned this before. I know that I've talked about hemp faux leather, but Volkswagen is going to start using hemp faux leather in their vehicles. Here's kind of a little bit of it, as you can see. Now, I have to love this because the name of the product is Lover, and it's LOVR. LOVR is what they call the product, and that stands for leather-free, oil-free, vegan, and residue-based. I don't know what that residue-based means. But vegan leather? Come on. I mean, good move, Volkswagen. It's genius. How are these products not everywhere? Honestly, I just don't even know why there isn't a million hemp vegan purses, leather purses. There's just so much. I mean, I just can't even imagine how much I desire at the current moment a vegan hemp leather jacket. you know, um, the idea of it alone, it's masterful. So come on, son, Ed Lover, Ed Lover, this E Lover, hemp lover. Come on, son, let's get this done. If you know Ed Lover, you know the joke. Had to do it. I love it. Now I need to get Ed Lover involved in this. Like, I need a line of Ed Lover fucking faux leather freaking clothes.
Yeah, see what he's doing.
Somebody get me Ed Lover's number.
See what he's up to.
Come on, son. Oh, shoot. How about some micro cabins? The one thing that I love about these little micro cabins, they're available to rent at Wally Farms. I don't know where Wally Farms is, but Google it or something. For a second I thought it was New York, so I don't know. I don't remember, but something told me that it was in New York. But head to old Wally Farms and stay in a hemp hemp cabin.
It is Columbia County, New York.
Ha ha!
There you go.
Sometimes I don't even know how I know the things that I know. I mean, I guess I subliminally saw that in this article, but I really just took the headline, took the pictures, bam, there they are. I didn't need any more than hemp cabins at Wally Farms.
Right.
After that, I just stopped flipping. So there you have it, New York. Not too far from the high state area. Maybe I'll see how far away they are. Not that I can afford to go stay in a cabin anywhere, but I'm just saying. If I am going to, it will be a hemp cabin, guaranteed. 10 innovative material poised to make hemp building more sustainable. Numero uno, hempcrete. Yes, of course. It's kind of interesting. I guess, maybe I feel like now that summertime is more time stuff gets built, but that's not true because we're building stuff year round. It does seem, and again, I reported on some hemp stuff that was being built over the winter, but it does seem now that we're moving kind of into the springtime. There's a lot more emphasis and push on hempcrete materials. So, no lie there. Hempcrete's number one. Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. Well, we don't have a whole lot of events. The medical marijuana meetup is back on. Mad Tree, I believe it's June 5th. It's the first Tuesday of the month. It should be next Tuesday. Is that right? Yeah. No, not June 5th. June 5th is a Saturday.
Yeah. It's like I want to say the 2nd.
It's Tuesday? June 2nd. Whatever the first Tuesday, June 2nd, should be the medical marijuana at Mad Tree. I will be there discussing all things hemp. So come join me and discuss all things hemp if you so desire. Maybe learn something. Maybe teach me something, because I do learn at these events. And I go to the medical marijuana meetups as the hemp guy. I don't, there are plenty of medical marijuana people there. There are plenty of recreational marijuana people there. I have always gone because Bonnie invited me to be a voice for hemp. And I have always enjoyed being that voice because I do learn. I've learned about hemp from other people that come to these meetings. Um, and as some of you may know, that's pretty much all my life is entailed to these days is learning about hemp. It always has been. The last 30 years. No, I do have a life outside of hemp, I have to admit. Quite a grandeur life. I'm living the life right now. I live on the Ohio River. Uh, Not in a van down by the river, but on a boat on the river.
Maybe someday get you a van.
Yeah. I can park a van up, up on the if I really, if I wanted a guest house.
That's right.
Come stay in my van down by the river. But anyway, so all right, folks. Thanks everybody. Once again, I usually finish with any questions or thoughts. I didn't get any questions, and my thoughts were clearly illustrated.
Indeed.
So thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next week. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See y'all next week.